welcome to our Internal Audit Insights. Today, we're going to be talking about Fannie Mae resources for approved seller and servicers. I'm Mignon Davis, and I'm joined by Cassidy Tim. Together, we run Internal Audit here at Ritchie Mae. All right, let's dig in. So many conversations we have with our clients are around resources that Fannie Mae has published to assist seller servicers in meeting their requirements. We often point our clients to these resources, and in many instances, we find that our clients had not previously been aware of them.
All right, so to start, we're going to start with the Fannie Mae self-assessments. So these are mini checklists that they have posted, and they have them broken up by various operational areas, and this specifically relates to originations. So there's actually 13 different self-assessments. To highlight a couple, they include internal audit, quality control, business continuity and disaster recovery, and then third-party originations. Each assessment includes Fannie Mae's requirements and their recommendations related to that area, but then they also outline common findings as well as documentation that you can expect them to ask if they were to come in and do a review of that area.
Now, an example of these checklists is their third-party originations assessment checklist, which outlines the requirements for the approval process of a new TPO, as well as it outlines the annual review process for existing TPOs and what Fannie Mae expects you to do regarding both of those processes. Then they also include recommendations such as having a scorecard or dashboard for TPO performance monitoring, and also establishing training programs for new and existing TPOs. One of the common findings that's listed on this TPO assessment outlines that sellers are often not sampling loans that are required from a TPO prior to acquiring those loans. So that's an issue that Fannie Mae has cited as a common finding. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, so that's the self-assessments. Then Fannie Mae also has something that's called QC Beyond the Guide. And this is really Fannie Mae's deep dive into QC requirements and expands and explains more of what Fannie Mae is looking for within the selling guide. So this document actually states that it's a companion to the Fannie Mae selling guide. Beyond the Guide leads you past the minimum requirements of the selling guide by diving deeper into best practices from Fannie Mae and also across the industry.
Now, because Fannie Mae calls this Beyond the Guide document a companion, it really is meant to be used in conjunction with the Fannie Mae Selling Guide. And the document also even states that achieving full compliance with the expectations of Part D of the Selling Guide is an ongoing journey. And this document, Beyond the Guide, provides a roadmap for the trip.
Fannie Mae has a huge focus on quality control. I feel like we're talking about that with clients all the time. And the fact that they have this resource published to help clarify and explain the why behind some of the risk and requirements really just shows how important this is to them, and also why a lender should be aware that this is out there. All right, so that's on the origination side, but then we also want to highlight that Fannie Mae does have some resources on the servicing side. So similar to the self-assessments that we just talked about, they have what's called Fannie Mae Servicer Self-Assessment. So one thing to highlight is the servicing self-assessment has everything in one assessment compared to the 13 separate ones that origination has. And then also within this one document, then they have it split into different sections, and each area has a requirement section. And then they also have an am I missing any of the following to consider as well.
And in this checklist too, it includes a section for master servicer oversight and their requirements for overseeing the subservicer relationship. And that includes quality control reviews. Fannie Mae has also published a master servicer job aid, which is a 2-page document that outlines Fannie Mae's requirements and provides examples of how master servicers can meet those requirements if they're using a subservicer. And it outlines the oversight that's required. Now, some of the items that are covered are, again, quality control reviews, also annual on-site operational assessments, and reviewing the subservicer's policies and procedures. So to wrap up, Fannie Mae has created these resources for their seller servicers, and they expect you to be familiar with these resources and to use them in addition to the selling and servicing guides. Thank you for your time today. We hope you found this information beneficial. If you have any questions or would like to discuss how Ritchie Mae can help you, please contact us. Next time, we're going to dive into some hot topics surrounding vendor management. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time.